Hello everybody, my name is David. This channel is DeMars Coaching, and I'm making another video about borderline personality disorder and also complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm going to talk about, they're so closely related. Maybe most people with BPD, if not all, have C-PTSD. And a lot of us that have C-PTSD think we may have BPD. So I'm going to go over these things, and it's all based on a lecture I watched. It's a 9-year-old lecture I found from Yale University, and I watched this, probably at least 7 years ago. And I went back to watch it again. I never made a video about it, so I am today. And I'm not going to discuss everything they go over in the lecture. It's over an hour long. The link will be down in the description box if you guys want to go watch the rest of it or all of it. So the speaker is Bessel van der Kolk. He's a doctor, and he gives a lecture about affect regulation, PTSD, and borderline personality disorder. And there's 3 major factors I'm going to go over today. 1 is somatization, 2 is disturbed attachment, and the 3rd is affect regulation. So Bessel says the traumatized child is the terrified organism. It affects our body massively. So somatization is the tendency to experience and communicate physiological distress as bodily and organic symptoms. The first we see in children are headaches and stomach aches. There's 2 good books that talk about this. Body Keeps the Score and Childhood Disrupted, How Your Biography Becomes Your Biology. And I just can't believe that this is, just being understood now in the Western world. So somatic symptoms such as headaches, stomach aches, like I said before in children, first signs of abuse and neglect. Backaches, muscle pain, digestive pain, unpleasant bodily sensations, unexplained symptoms. We don't even know why we have these. Worrisome symptoms that we sit and worry all the time. What's wrong with us? What is this? What do I have? Am I dying? Do I have cancer, disease? Anxiety, panic attacks, poor concentration, memory loss, and dissociation, and many, many more. Disturbed attachment. We talked about attachment styles many times before, and a lot of us may have like the anxious, unsure attachment style, but I'm talking about the disturbed attachment. And this is something that most borderlines grew up having. This can be caused by a loss of a parent or multiple caregivers, illness, substance abuse, domestic violence, and the list goes on and on. If attachment is disrupted, the child may not develop the secure base needed to form and support relationships throughout life. Now, be aware that attachment styles can change. Bessel says, whether people will not get better, Bessel says, whether people will get better or not is up to this. Affect regulation. So there's something called negative mood regulation. Negative mood regulation, or NMR expectancies. This is what this is. That behavior or cognitive process will alleviate a negative mood state or induce a positive one. Failure to regulate these negative moods serve to confirm experiences about the inability to do so. So as we grow up and enter adulthood and we can no longer regulate our emotions and our affect, it confirms that we have the inability to do so when that's not necessarily true. We know that early onset abuse has the most damage. Late onset abuse has less. And we also know that recent disaster has the least. But unfortunately, these people are the ones who are studied for PTSD, right? A soldier goes to war, a police officer on the job. I know people that have a horse, they fell off a horse and the horse fell on them. They got massively injured. They had PTSD. These are the people that are studied for PTSD instead of the people that have early onset child abuse. Remarkable. And now we know it's C-PTSD, more complex than we thought. So here's some of the problems that we have from early onset abuse. And then it's less in late onset abuse and even less in recent disasters. Affect regulation, anger, self-destructive, suicidal, sexual involvement, risk-taking behaviors, amnesia, dissociation, feelings that were permanently damaged forever, guilt and shame, and nobody can understand us, and minimizing what happened to us. Victims of child abuse that display the symptoms I've read. We must learn to regulate our own affect and emotions, to not enmesh and depend on others to do this for us. And that is the biggest problem that we're having. Whether you're borderline personality disorder or you have severe C-PTSD symptoms, what we are doing, since we've lost ourselves, we don't know ourselves very well. And we can't, our emotions are so difficult to regulate. We act them out. They can be confusing. And what we're doing is we're constantly entering relationships, idealizing partners, thinking that this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one that what? That heals us? No. These are relationships that will make us worse. That will solidify that we cannot do this. That we cannot regulate our own emotions. That we cannot be alone. We cannot have relationships with people. And so we need help, period. Okay? There is a genetic predisposition. I want to just mark. This could be a major factor. Genetic links with borderline personality disorder are schizophrenia and schizotypal personality disorder. If you have borderline personality disorder, you may have relatives that talk to themselves, that say weird things, dress weird, stuff like this. But the problem is our brains don't stop growing till we're 26. And personality disorders aren't supposed to be diagnosed for anybody under the age of 18. We're supposed to wait till they're at least 18. I think that's too young. Matter of fact, the DSM says we can diagnose people with borderline personality disorder under the age of 18 if they've shown these symptoms and traits for more than a year. It's very commonly misdiagnosed, borderline is, and people that have C-PTSD have been diagnosed with BPD. Regardless, what's important is, again, that we learn to regulate our own affect and emotions. And we need to learn to do this with ourselves and not rely and depend on others to do this for us. And I think that's where the magnitude of idealization comes from. And people that have BPD and C-PTSD are known for splitting. Thinking that people are so great and so bad, distorted views of our abusers, of our partners, of ourselves. There is help available and everyone is capable of healing. Okay? I want you guys to really know that. Talk therapy is the cure. And there's different forms of talk therapy, from CBT and DBT, cognitive and dialectical behavioral therapy, familial therapy, relationship therapy, but we need to talk and it will help us, okay? Help us regulate our own emotions and affect and have successful relationships and not dependent relationships that always end in disaster and are neglectful. Thank you, guys. Any questions you have, please ask me down below in the comment section. I will answer them always. Anybody wants to talk about their own experiences and add your own information to this, please do so. And again, the video that or the lecture that I made this video about will be down in the description box. Thank you, guys. Love yourself first. Please find help if you need it. Go to a life coach, a therapist, or some other professional. Anybody wants coaching, you can find me at daviddemars.com. Love yourself first, guys. Bye. Thank you.